In this video, I'll show you how to make some amazing vocals, even if you're absolute trash at singing, which is why we'll use my singing as an example. So let's check out the vocal we're working with. And warning, like the cringe is going to be strong in this one, because I'm not a good singer, okay? But yeah, here it is. Back to where we started, show me where you've been, time to yield my garden, plant you with the seeds, you keeping me. Running back. Great. So I know what you guys are probably thinking. How could we possibly fix this vocal? Well, essentially what we need to do to make this vocal sound really good is to add so many effects that you don't recognize my voice anymore. So for the processing, I first added a compressor so the vocal doesn't jump too much in volume. What's important here is to make sure you have a really fast attack so you catch the transients. Back to where we started, show me where you've been. Time to yield my garden, plant you with the seeds. The next thing I added was an auto-tune plugin, and we obviously just max it out because you know why. Back to where we started, show me where you've been. Time to yield my garden, plant you with the seeds. And right now the vocal still kind of sounds like me, so we need to drastically change how I sound. So we do that by adding some Formant Shifting, which will make the vocal sound higher or lower without changing the pitch. In this song I want it to be, you know, a giga chat of course, so I turned down the Formant Shift. Back to where we started, show me where you've been. Time to yield my garden, plant you with the seeds. Next, I just made it a bit wider. Back to where we started. Then I made it even bigger sounding with Jonas Aiden's BigBoss Fire plugin. And for some reason, this fax synth opener preset made the vocals sound freaking massive. Back to where we started, show me where you've been. Time to yield my garden, plant you with the seeds. Then we have some OTT. Back to where we started. Next we have an EQ that just removes all the unnecessary lows and also adds some crispiness. Back to where we started, show me where you've been. Time to yield my garden, plant you with the seeds. And because I like, you know, crispy.
I like crispy sounding.
I also added a fresh air. And the reason I added this plugin instead of boosting the high end with the EQ is because this is an exciter plugin which adds harmonic distortion. Essentially, this means we'll be able to add a lot of crispiness without making it sound too harsh. Back to where we started, show me where you've been. Back to where we started. Lastly, I use automations with a Fruity Balance and an LFO tool. I'll explain them later. The last effect I added was obviously reverb, and I actually added way more reverb than I usually do because it helps to mask the flaws in the vocal a bit. Back to where we started, show me where you've been. Time to yield my garden, plant you with the seeds. And by the way, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. I also automated a bunch of stuff to just make it more balanced and exciting. So for example, I used volume automation to turn down the the T word, since it was way too loud here. I also automated the reverb and panning to make the vocal way more interesting to listen to. Running back, running back, running back to where we started, show me where you've been. Lastly, I just made sure the sidechain was active during the drop. So yeah, here's a before and after so far. Back to where we started. Back to where we started. And to make this vocal sound even better, we can layer the vocal. So I copied my original vocal and pitched it up one octave. The key here is to use this E3 mono mode and then pitch it up with this knob. This will make sure you don't make yourself sound like a chipmunk, you know. Back to where we started. Show me where you...
Back to where we started.
And then I also panned the vocal to the sides in the stereo field. And I also added pretty much the same effects as in the previous vocal. And here's a before and after. Back to where we started. Back to where we started. Back to where we started. Show me where you've been. And that's it. Let's hear the final result of the vocal together with the instrumental. But first, if you want to learn everything you need to produce electronic music, you can check out my 7-day course, link in the description. Nice. Back to where we started, show me where you've been. Time to yield my garden, plant you with the seeds, you keeping me.
Running, running back, running back, back, back. Running back, running back to where we started. Show me where you've been. Time to leave my garden. Plant you with the seeds. You keeping me. Running back, running back, back, back. Running back, running back.